Good evening, Max. How are you, buddy? The next edition of Mrs. Littner's book of the day is one of my absolute favorite authors. Absolute favorite. I have a lot of favorites, so he might be like my most favorite, or he might be second place too. His name is Chris Van Dusen, and he is the one that made If I Built a School, If I Built a Car, If I Built a House. He has the most amazing pictures and wonderful rhymes, and I absolutely love him. Almost as much as I love you. Enjoy. All right, Max. Rylan picked this one today. She picked Learning to Ski with Mr. Magee by Chris Van Dusen. Ooh, that's perfect. Little snowflakes. Rylan is a skier, so she really loves this book. It's one of her favorites. One winter morning at 6:53, Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee woke to fresh snow and a beautiful sky and decided it's time to give skiing a try. Before we drive all the way up to Mount Snow, follow me, Dee. I know right where to go. Across from the house and just up the way is a great little hill with a view of the bay. We will practice up there till we learn how to ski, then we'll head for the mountain, said Mr. Magee. Oh, look at Dee is in his little backpack. A few minutes later, they came to a spot where nothing could get in their way, Magee thought. So he put on his skis, Dee hopped in the pack, and with his poles in his hands and his dog on his back, he inched to the edge very slowly until his skis teetered, tottered, and then started downhill. Not far down the hillside from Mr. Magee, and just out of sight, there happened to be a curious moose. He was out on a search for the succulent sticks of the great northern birch. He spotted a tree, the biggest he'd seen, on the opposite side of a gaping ravine. Look at, there's Mr. Magee skiing down the hill. This is a ravine. It's kind of like a big break where there's no ground. It goes down really deep. The moose turned around, and what did he see? Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee. The moose was so shocked that he stood frozen in fear, but Mr. Magee hadn't learned how to steer, and he knew very soon they were going to collide, so he called the moose. Would you please step aside? Whoa. But the moose didn't move. So Magee yelled, "Duck!" And that was the moment they ran out of luck. Because while they were sliding right under the moose, the tips of the skis snagged the log of a spruce. See, they got stuck on the spruce log. Whoa! In a flash and a flip, they flew over the log, tossing poor Mr. Magee and his dog, headed over heels straight into the gap. When the ends of the skis came down with a slap. So there they were stranded, Magee and his pup, across a ravine 100 feet up. They hung there, suspended, not making a sound. When the moose came back, he looked all around. He didn't see Dee or McGee. But what was this? A bridge to the birch above the abyss? Whoa. The moose took a step. He was steady and slow, but his weight caused the skis to sag and go bow. And when he looked down, his heart skipped a beat, for Mr. Magee was right under his feet. With a snort, the moose leapt. The skis went spring. They popped in the air with a zip and a zing. And up like a rocket shot Dee and McGee, landing feet first, just as safe as can be. Well, that was exciting, said Mr. Magee, but I'm not really sure we learned how to ski. I think that I might need a lesson or two. I think that perhaps it's the best thing to do. And when we get home, he said with a smile, we'll let someone else use the skis for a while. The end. Love you, buddy.